Alright, it is 9:28 a.m. The morning watch list, at least the watch list here, hasn't changed. This is going to be a watch for morning panic bounce plays. I actually considered a buy at BB in the 1670s, about the same place that it is right now, back at 916, but I don't know, my order just wasn't getting executed. Maybe I still have a problem where I can't buy pre-market, but it just wasn't, the fact that I wasn't able to get my order executed, and the setup wasn't looking that good. It just didn't feel like it was. Felt like it was a little bit of a chase. We'll see how this thing does at the market open, but no setups right now. I'll be looking for morning panic bounce plays. Alright, it is 9:39 a.m. Just a quick update. They're trading like trash today. FBCD was interested in it, but it's not trading with much volume. Very jumpy, very illiquid. I did trade, and I lost a little with MJWL. It was just a tiny 1% loss because I considered it for a morning panic bounce play, but it started trading like trash right here, kind of bouncing back and forth between the bid and the ask that had a spread, and so I bought at 495 right here, and that was at 933, give or take this candle right here. And then it just started going back and forth, and I said, I'm out of here. This is trash. And it did crack below 49 and get to this 48 level. Now it's at 50, but yeah, this thing's trading like trash. Volume sucks, so I'm gonna be looking at other setups. NWGC. This one had, I think it had a gap down. No, it doesn't even look like a gap down. It just doesn't look nice. The morning panic bounce play. So not trading that. Haven't looked at SAPX, but if the volume is this bad, it's not going to be a trade. MSRT, I guess, did a morning panic bounce play, but this one seems a bit sketchy. They just suck, really. I'm going to be looking at the listed stocks to see how they do. Looks like it did downtrend here after the market opened. That makes sense. UONE, same case as well. I'll be looking at the listed stocks, not really LTCs. They're trading like trash today, and I'm not gonna trade them. It was a good attempt on NWGC, right? NWGC, MJWL, but even though it is where it, yeah, exactly. These things don't trade with much volume. They trade like trash, so I don't mind that I, lost. What did I lose? $4.50 trying. I don't mind that at all. But they are trading like trash, so I realized it. So I'm gonna look at other things. Okay, it's 11 a.m. I actually had my first short, but I didn't hold on very long, and I don't regret that too much because this is my first short in a long time. It's a listed stock. I shorted BlackBerry. It didn't cost anything, by the way. The interest rate was 0.05% annually, so I could have, in theory, held this thing for a really long time. And yeah, I made $1. I just traded a small $160 position. It's working now. Could have been a part of this, but why did I consider shorting BB? I considered it because AMC, which is like the leader, had this nasty drop right here and then started bouncing back, and BB kind of lags behind, and it's just doing it now. But it was also like a head and shoulder, head, shoulder. Although I wasn't really looking at this, I was looking more into how this thing is kind of broke past, well, here it broke under VWAP, broke past it, and then it started struggling, holding above the VWAP level. So that's why I took a short, and that was at 10:55. So that was right here in this candle. I just had to hold a little longer. I mean, I didn't hold that long. 10:58. Did I really? Yeah. I covered like the minute before we have the drop to 6:20. That's cool. I missed out there, but that's fine. Covered at 52 right here. So the bottom, near the bottom of that candle, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, 1 minute before the big drop. That's fine. It's my first short for a very long time. I don't regret it at all. It was a good attempt. It was a pretty good attempt. Maybe I'll keep getting better at these, and being my first trade, short in a very long time, I also didn't want to get in trouble and lose on my first short. Just an ego thing. I don't mind if I lose the next 7. At least I got, I was right the first time. And WGC, something happened here. It just trades, like the tick pre-market. I don't know. Something just threw this thing off. UONE. This one was a nice one too. I haven't been looking at the markets. I just came back, really. I've been doing other things. Just really frustrated with how crappy the morning panic bounce plays were today. But UONE is similar in that it cracks the VWAP. Tries to stay above it, kind of struggling, lots of resistance, and then just cracks it, right? I did it in that sense, just not perfect, perfectly. FBCD is fading, BB at 1631. I don't know how much lower it can get. I guess I would have to get out depending on price action, but I think it's an improvement in that a trade that I didn't even hold that long, I held for 3 minutes. I've had that problem where I only hold a trade for like 20 seconds or a minute, like 40 seconds. Now I'm getting into 3 minutes, so I'm doing better. I'm doing better in that sense. MSRT, nothing. MJWL did get as high as 60, and I had my buy somewhere here at 40. It's on my other account, my non-short selling account. I bought at 49.5. But this is a bit unpredictable. I mean, it was holding VWAP nicely throughout the day, so it's not completely out of the ordinary, but you can see how somebody with a big volume just wipes it out. So yeah, that's the state that I'm in. I'm happy that I had my first short. Could have made more money, a lot more money. Could have traded a larger position, but I don't mind trading a small position size on something I haven't done in a really long time. Really happy that it was shortable here on Schwab. I did have to click and agree that I'm willing to short, and despite the commission, which was 0.05% annually, which is nothing, absolutely nothing. And again, all of these stocks are shortable, but AMC, HTZGQ is not available to short. This thing has been available before. It looks like it's trading at 6.50, so I eventually got past $6. But look at all these shares that are available, and you don't have to pay any interest. I mean, I'm not holding these for a long time. This is a great broker, I think, to short. Nice. It'll be nice if it cracks the wick here at 17. Let's see if 17 cracks. It might try to hold again. "30 seconds into the minute." Ooh, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Wow, that was nice. I was just 1 minute off from the total crash. Alright, that's fine. I'm gonna take a screenshot, upload this trade, the profit lead. It's only $1 profit, but it's a nice trade, a nice short, first short in a long time. Good setup if you ask me. I was risking it off of the 1680 level, so I was gonna risk from my entry at 16.50, 30 cents. I need to instill that more in my mind. If I'm gonna risk 30 cents, I'm going for $1.20 in theory. And $1.20 drop from 16.50 will be 15.30, and that, I don't know if it will get to 15.30, but it's sure as heck going in that direction. Yeah, so I'll make an update later to see how far this thing drops. Again, main reason why I shorted, because it was struggling at that VWAP level, and AMC, the leader, had this downtrend, so I thought BB will do the same. It did. It just took another minute. That's killer. Alright, I'll make an update later. That's setup totally worked. I was just not there for it. Alright, it's 11:16. I thought about getting in at 15.78, but I got scared because I didn't know if it would continue an uptrend or not. It seems like it is so far, but it might just be all it can do here, and it just continues to fade. Really, I was just scared because 15.78, right? I take a buy, and it could be like here, okay, I take a buy at 16.20. Nope. It keeps downtrending, so I guess I just need to think before I trade. Really, what am I gonna risk? Had I bought at 15.78, I risked the day low at 15.65, so I'm risking what, 13 pennies? But of course, there's gonna be slippage if it breaks the day low. And then I'm guessing because I risk 15 pennies. I guess it's also gonna be risking, you know, green to red. I didn't think about that actually. Oh, geez, had I noticed that, I probably would have considered it. Yeah, I'm gonna make, I don't know if I can really do it. Let's see if I can do it. I'm trying to find out if I can change the previous clothesline color to something that's not so hard to look at. Had I have noticed this clothesline, I would have definitely have considered a buy here, because this could have been like a little bit of max panic, because you know it went red on the day for a little bit, and then shorts from all of this downtrending are covering their shares, leads to the spike from 15.70 and my entry at 16, and then at its highest so far, and maybe it can try to hold itself together at 15.90. Otherwise, I have a great risk risking it going red again, you know, for an easy trade. Or if I want to be riskier, risk the day low. I'm gonna see if I can try to find a way to change that previous clothesline color. You see, I have it showing, but it's a color that is not really visible for me. So I'm gonna see if I can do something about that. I'm gonna include the previous clothesline on the other chart too now. That makes a lot of sense. It's doing very badly. I probably have to cut losses if it goes red on the day, but I think this was still a good trade, a good attempt, because it could, you know, cause a lot of shorts to cover their shares who, you know, were short here like I was, but actually held longer. We'll see how it does. It's gonna test, you know, red again. We'll see how it does. I'll make an update. I'll see if I can change the color right there at the line. Okay, it's 11:22. This is delicious. Look at this downtrend right here. Had I have went long at 15.78, I would have cut losses at this, you know, red level again for break even. You know, had I have been risky, would have covered at the day low, but that would have probably have been some problems right there, because there would be slippage. So maybe, I don't know, I'd sell at 15.53. I don't know, and that would have been fine. Just 20 pennies the loss right there. But this is nice. I can't believe I covered right here like a good boy at 10.58. Wow, that is so impressive. I'd probably be considering covering some right here, just because I want to take profits, you know, especially here too. That is really nice. Maybe this is going to be the ultimate bounce, but I'm not going to play that game. I'll wait for a head and inverse head and shoulders now. That is so nice. I don't know, I just wanted to record that. This is cool. I'll get into shorting these stocks, you know, even if I'm wrong, you know, the next 5 trades, I only get better. This is a nice setup. I'm glad it worked. Yeah, just wanted to make an update. I'll make an update later to see how far this thing goes, but I probably won't trade anything else today. I might, but I probably won't. Alright, it is 6:20 p.m. I'm just here to call it off for the rest of the day, and just to see what everything did. I think somebody really, maybe even a promoter, just screwed with this stock and gave it an ugly print, so it just messes with the whole chart. But you know, it's just I guess it's not really that messed up, because you get rid of extended hours, but it just had a downtrend. You know, it had a lot of volume, but this is reminding me of GGII. It wasn't clean. I just didn't want to trade it. I think GGII made some moves too. It did a nice uptrend towards the rest of the day, up 40%. I mean, yeah, it's not that bad, but it's nothing I want to trade. It's not really what I'm trying to get good at. FBCD looks like a downtrend. BB, this is when I consider that short. Well, I didn't consider it. I actually shorted, right? I covered right here before this panic. It got as low as that 520 level. After that, I didn't want to mess with it. You know, it could have uptrended and broken past VWAP. Sorry if you hear a very passionate YouTube watcher in the background. And I did consider here the inverse head and shoulders, but I didn't want to because it was just a bit too, it's very narrow. I would have liked it if it was more stretched out. Not bad. It was a great short I did right there. The dip buy didn't work here, but it did work here from 1535 to 1580. There wasn't that much range. Yeah, it wasn't like the initial panic. It seems like here there was a nice big panic, but I was totally right about that setup there. AMC, similar in that, it failed to hold past the VWAP level. This one was a bit choppier, but that was the main reason why I considered BB, because AMC was starting to drop like crazy right here. So I thought, alright, BB might do the same thing. And it did. It took a little longer, but it did it. Very impressive. And besides that, yeah, nothing else I would have traded. All of that other stuff would have been random. MSRT didn't do much. It's trying to hold its highs, I guess. UNE. This is a nice uptrend. I actually consider this one like a short. Same setup where it tries to hold above VWAP and it fails. Never traded it, but this one actually held past it. That's a nice run up. The last one is MJWL, and this is the one where I had that crappy trade because it just traded like crap. And this one eventually, I don't know, this is very strange, a liquid price action, but sure, in theory, I could have held on to my position, right? And this, but no, I'm glad that I got out of my trade in there because it was trading like trash, and I didn't want to be a part of it, even if it meant I would sell for a loss, then to maybe just try to hold it a little longer and maybe miss out on some other opportunity. It was just trading like trash. The volume wasn't there. But I could have considered it perhaps when it was holding the VWAP and risk the VWAP level, give or take, or maybe the lows of that range. I've seen this before, and then it has that nice uptrend. And sometimes it's below the VWAP, but it puts up like higher lows, tiny higher lows. I'll consider this, sure. But yeah, that's about it. Just going to call it off. A good trading day. I had my first shorted BB. Right before this nice drop right here, but the setup was there. I need to really take into consideration more risk reward. So if I'm gonna risk, in this case I was risking I think 1680, from that 1660 level I'm risking 20 cents. I should be trying to go for at least 60 cents, and that's, it clearly did more than 60 cents, so that's pretty nice. I'm just gonna have to keep working on it, and that's a good thing. I have a lot of room for improvement, and I look forward to tomorrow.